Hey everyone, just wanted to let you know the Kickstarter campaign for Love Esquire is live. Back us now. Yeah, that's the video. No, we're back with the letter. It's, they say that, but it's actually not live. I think it ended like half a year ago. I'm pretty sure. I looked at the Kickstarter real quick. I couldn't find a date, but it's very much not live. So yeah, I guess it's still the I stay up all night 6th official whatever, but it's the end. Like it's 9 a.m. on the last morning of the third day, like dawn of the whatever. Yeah, I recorded a bunch of it on Bono last night, like earlier. Yeah, so that makes this video 14, I think, or 13, which. I wanted to do 20, but that's not bad. That's like a D, right? So yeah, I'm just back with some more of the letter. I still have some time left. Figured, why not? Maybe we can finish Rebecca's route. Maybe we could finish the whole way out. We'll see. So yeah, last time we chose to stay with Zachary because he's the best boy, and Ashton he's okay. If it's not a matter of my resolve suddenly dissipating into thin air, but more out of consideration for the other man. Ash needs this space, this time to think for himself. Away from me, away from any opinions other people might have on this matter, including Zachary. Otherwise, he wouldn't have left. Although I'm sure Zachary understands this as well, knowing doesn't stop him from throwing curious glances my way. Especially when a long minute has passed and I haven't moved, despite his urging.
You can stop with the looks now, Zachary.
Sorry, you just confused me is all. You're usually the first person to step in and ride him.
Well, guess what? She's not in charge. I am. I get to make the decisions. Me. HorseyEatYou. There's always that odd thing in games where you sometimes get choices that the character you're controlling would never make. And that usually bugs me in visual novels. The letter does it probably a lot, just because there's so many just dialogue options, there's so many choices, there's basically all the dialogue options shouldn't exist really. Maybe a couple of them. But my favorite kind of choices are ones where the character has to make a split decision. Like, oh, do I go this way or that way? Do I help that person or that person? Do I do this or blank? You get what I mean. Those are the best. Not like, oh, should I spend my day going to the mall or going to the park? Or like the way Katawa Shoujo did it. Should I go to the town where Lily totally isn't? Or should I go to the library where Hanako totally isn't? I forget if the other guy said something similar. I just remember that one in particular. But yeah. This must be new to him. Seeing me not chasing after Ash.
If I want to go after him, we need to give him some room to breathe. Did you see how he looked when he left? That's not the face of someone who wants to do some talking.
Positive? Because like I said...
Yes, stop worrying. Anyway, I don't think he'll appreciate whatever it is I have to say right now. It isn't exactly pleasant news.
Watch us get to the astronaut and he's just like crying by himself. Like, why did none of my friends come with me? Ah!
Don't know. Pretty sure he's already put 2 and 2 together. He's a sharp guy. But I just thought you might still want to sort some stuff out. Not this, I mean the, other one.
Quickly, this conversation has taken a personal turn. As soon as I can, I avert my eyes from him, turning towards the hands resting on my lap. An urge to press them together in a grip rises. I wonder how much he knows. How much of it he's observed and figured out in the few years we've been friends. He may just be staying his tongue out of some sense of deference. Deference? Deference. I won't blame him if he feels that way. We've never grown close as friends. Though it does make the whole situation embarrassing now. Out of everyone, including me, he's the one who's keeping a level head and trying not to let everything fall apart. I'm sure being nosy isn't his intention. He's just worried. But sometimes that kind of concern comes unwarranted. Oh yeah, the audio's probably too quiet for you, huh? That's probably better. We should just move on this topic before anything damaging this effort. Wow, there's another choice? How are you holding up? I assume that's the right choice.
Zachary, Ashton and I can
Yep.
find find some other day to clear the air between us. I just don't think this is the right place to do that.
Or time. If there will be one later, after this is over, or in some point in the future we'll allow it, I can't tell. In the first place, this has been a one-sided affair. I can act furious all I want, but one fact stands. Ashton doesn't have the faintest idea both of what's going on, or whatever feelings I hold for him. He never had, never even noticed. So is this a post-accepting Ghost Rebecca? Or is this pre-accepting the Ghost Rebecca? It'll be unfair to place any blame on him or any other or the other person in this, when I'm as equally responsible by keeping it to myself, wishing he noticed on his own. No wonder he just assumes it's some adverse effect of the weird weather. So what, that's Ashton doesn't believe in ghosts? Is there a Ashton believes in ghosts? Or is this, oh, you've told him ghostly? I'm not sure. And now I've lost the chance. What right do I have to act frustrated or draw people like Zachary into this? It shames me that he has to be the one making these little efforts, when my own feelings should be my own responsibility.
I promise we'll talk, okay? Who knows? We might have time tonight, since you agreed to come with me.
Oh, I wonder what that one could be about.
Worry about yourself instead. How are you holding up?
Although his eyes flickers momentarily in my direction, he gives no indication the sudden change of subject bothers him. But there's a brief pause before he answers, like Ashton when he's being mindful of his words. However rare that happens.
I can, you know me. Can always handle myself.
Then, in almost an exact contradiction of that statement, he leans away, slightly, as if to hide what I may see in his face. A movement so small, I wouldn't have noticed it if I hadn't been paying closer attention. Only now am I seeing the dark circles under his eyes. Only now am I noticing the red rimming the edges. Suddenly, the tired stump in his shoulder carries a different, heavier meaning. A pang of regret immediately hits me, fiercer than the one that did earlier. I've been so focused on other matters, other things, one person, that I've completely forgotten about those around me. What an awful mistake to make.
You don't look too good today, though.
Oh, it's just a movie. Jitters, you know?
Are you still upset about those reviews? I thought Belle and I already...
No, it's okay. It still bothers me, but only a little now. Not in the way you're thinking. I know what I said last week. I remember it loud and clear. I made a promise. No quitting. I've just been having a few bad dreams lately. It'll pass soon, Rebecca.
Did the dreams involve ghosts? I mean, you could talk about that to each other. Be like, yo, you saw a ghost too, dude! But no, okay. The film fest is scheduled to last for 2 weeks before they award the winners, if I remember correctly. Knowing him, how he didn't really hold any expectations when he entered, or even confidence in his own work. Jitters is putting it mildly. Somehow, though, I have the feeling it's not the entire reason why he's in this state, that he's leaving it out on purpose. I won't ask any further than he allows me to, but our concerns shouldn't go unspoken, regardless of what he's telling us.
Don't push yourself too hard, okay? You've been with her since the first day. Give yourself a break if you think you need it. At this rate, you might be the one who'll end up here first, not me.
I didn't realize there's a competition going on.
Who can end up at the hospital first? Let's go!
Why can't any of you ever take my warning seriously?
Well, the mood's already dreary. No use bogging it down with gloomy and stuff. And, I just don't think she'd want to wake up to this.
Yeah, if Isabella was sitting here, she'd probably do the same thing.
The soft laughter that follows is an odd thing to hear in the hall's dense air, but we let it ring regardless. You know, I really wish this game had more choices that mattered, like post the Isabella route. Like, if Zachary dies, that doesn't matter until Ashton's out. I wish, for example, like the death choice he had, like maybe it happened like right here, for example. And if you don't die, you chronologically get like a couple days ahead, and if you die, you know, you die early on, and then that affects the other routes. But you know that can't happen. That'd require more effort. That's just the sad reality of branching stories. The more you branch, the more you have to write. I mean, that's kind of obvious, but it's a relief from the somber mood, if anything. A tiny measure to prevent the weight of this from crushing all of us. Are we done with Rebecca's route now? Well, like, almost? Hold on. Can't allow the news to exist. Actually, I think it was... yeah, that one. a tiny measure to prevent the weight of this from crushing all of us. And it works. We lapse into a companionable silence soon after. A rare thing between the two of us, but nevertheless, a welcome change. Here, too, something has shifted. No further words are exchanged after that. Perhaps it's for the better. The quiet stretches on further until the door finally creaks open. By this time, the seconds and minutes have already blurred together, forming a haze in my mind. None of the things the doctor tells us register. Zachary's steady presence is a blessing during moments like this. How he can keep a clear head while listening to whatever bad news they're saying escapes me. Ashton finally shows back up minutes later, and understandably, he tenses the second he catches sight of the medical team walking away from their room. A multitude of expressions flashes across his face. Confusion, apprehension, dread, all in under a minute, till it settles back to his usual impassive mask. If given the chance, he'd probably run in there to see for himself, but Zachary raises a stalling hand before he can think of it. The nervous line in his mouth gradually melts into a smile, or one resembling it. Lately, seeing a genuine one on any of us seems almost like a luxury. Nevertheless, Ashton lets it ease him. There's nothing else, after all.
She's stable now, but they've placed her back in a coma. She'll be under observation for the rest of the day, so no visitors for now.
Still not the best news we've heard in a while. I don't think it's what Ashton's hoping to hear either. We're back to square one, back to another waiting game with no clear end in sight. Of course, none of us mentions it, even if the meaning's all too clear in our heads. There's still, however, relief in this. Something we can carry when the three of us leave the hospital for now. If that alone will be enough, remains to be seen. At least tonight, I'll have something to help take my mind off things. Hopefully, where this all started would provide the answers I'm looking for. That'll be one less thing for me to worry about, if so. Okay. Oh, that did skip. Okay.
He didn't have to lie to me.
Where are we? Like, we're at the party, obviously. Okay, just a little branch. Yeah, it was just a one line.
It's just a guess, since all he seems to do lately is piss you off, so I figure, yeah. And, it's all in your face, actually.
Okay. Be a nice person. You should be with your wife. Because he just got accused of cheating. These are basically both the same thing, but just phrased differently. And I can't tell which one. Like, what does he have to do with this? Like, what does he have to do with this, you little? Or, you know, what does he have to do with this, Ashton? Can you please explain? Or care to explain your reasons? Or, hey, care to explain your reasons? Huh? It could be either one.
What does he have to do with this?
Dang it.
Care to explain your reasons?
I guess I could have looked at the branching tree, huh? Okay. I remember this one. We head for the door. We didn't get that branch. Oh, I think that's a Rebecca romance. Rebecca not romance, probably. With the phone call. Head for the door. We're in the astronaut now? And it looks like it? Yep, okay. Let's just see cool new pictures. It's that one. We've probably seen at least some of these before. And that. Okay, where are we? Not too far in. We've done 47% of his, huh? More than I expected, honestly. Just because of how big his is. That one seems to bite back at me more than often than not lately. If what happened to the hospital is meant to convey anything. Okay, so this is post-hospital. I remember it is picking up, like, right where Isabella's left off, basically. But I guess not. This is probably the universe telling me it's better to remain the skeptic I really am. Okay. Choose the one we've already done. That's for her bed. Yo. If another person important to me ends up in the hospital because I didn't listen, there wouldn't be enough regret in this world. Frick. I almost came close to losing Isabella.
Well, glad to hear you're talking to someone, at least. Even if it's not me.
Oh, they're both pretty much even. I wonder how that's gonna go.
And don't count Isabella out yet. No matter what the doctor said,
I remember a similar line when she's alive. Very vaguely.
I want to believe she'll pull through. We'll manage one way or another.
However, this little detail has been bothering me since one of the investigating officers brought it up. Even the news has picked up on it. Most of the victims are the employees of the Yep.
Traffic cams were useless, and those were supposed to be high def to begin with.
Are we gonna finish with this episode?
Damn, huge weight. The people at Tech have been at it since we got hold of the footage, and all they managed
We're
to stop was a
flashbacking.
scant few seconds before she crossed the road. How does that help?
Well, there must be some use in that alone. Like, maybe someone pushed her?
There was no one else. She just stopped right in the middle of the road. Just right in the fucking middle. It's like there was something there that prevented her from crossing. I just don't know what. Zach, Isabella's not that stupid. There was something there. That's what made her stop, and the traffic cams didn't catch it.
Something or someone.
Someone was there.
Yep, okay. What's the point of that flashback exactly? Best thing that can come out of this is that Isabella's right all along. Worst case scenario? We've already done that. So this is basically a repeat of Ashton Goes Alone, just slightly different dialogue because, you know, Coma. Searching for what I need would be a whole lot easier if Isabella were here. Maybe she'll even tell me more about the sudden layoffs. She always has been. Isabella's accident might as well have been the ghost is doing. Both Rebecca and Zach have seen it too. She'll go after them as well. And here I am, walking up Becca's door, one slow step at a time. Stalling tactic to allow myself some time to put the mess in my head in better order. Oh, I did skip. These past years, it seems the only one who's been able to easily forgive is for Isabella. I kinda wish she's here to help me talk to her. Where did it? Okay, there we go. Already come too close to losing one. Yeah. There you go. Flashback. There's Zach and Isabella now, too, of course. Always be thankful for having them around. The worst times before, however, Becca was there. And, okay. Like Rebecca and I, he took the time to listen to what Isabella had been saying. And even if he didn't believe it, he was definitely the first one to offer help or try to do something. If he ends up trouble doing whatever it is, so help me, I'm going to. I feel like they missed a verb there. But, like, if he ends up trouble, like, right? It's only an accident, but what happened to Isabella has proven that. I think... Oh no, we did skip. Personal feelings will likely get involved at some point. Starting now, actually. Now, let's see where we are. Oh, I assume this is the Zachary's Undead branch. Heck, if only Isabella is here. Consciously, my attention drifts towards the closed door of our apartment, and it hits me. The second my eyes land on it. Split second of idea. I didn't bother looking into this because all this time I assumed it's an accident. But Cooper died. Isabella would have likely received all the files for the Ermengarde mansion. In fact, she might not need to. They're partners, right? It's no longer a trainee mentor thing. They both likely have the same copies of the documents. She might still be keeping some in her room. Something she hasn't been able to give us because of the accident. However, immediately after the thought forms, guilt also rears its head. She printed it out for you, dude. It's all in the stuff she was holding. And also, Ashton feeling bad about breaking and entering? Come on now. Despite her aunt having brought most of her personal stuff to the hospital, her room's still a mess of things she has accumulated over the years. Papers, instant noodle cups, photographs, and posters all over the walls. No matter where you look at this place simply has Isabella written in it. I assume this shows her out with the she dies you out. Granted, it's not yet too late for her. She may still recover, but now there's only regrets.
A gun, and I can't even protect my own friend.
One of these things is not like the other. We're nice. Oh, this is new. This is brand new. Okay. It won't be ending this episode then, maybe? Or maybe it still will be. However, the tone she assumes isn't what I'm hoping to hear. Okay, this is right before the end of her route. Yeah, I get a bit out of breath. There's a tinge of urgency in it. Or right after the end of her route. I forget where it cuts off if she lives. Let's go ahead and go through this. Oh, that's him in the elevator. We've seen that before, a long time ago. That would have been on our first route, when, you know, everyone died. Pretty much. Listening to her from my side of the line makes it seem like she has run a marathon prior to this call. And oh hey, look, our rating with Zachary's almost max.
I got your message. What happened?
Nothing. Yet. Where are you?
Downtown. I had to make a quick visit to the library.
And you're on a marathon.
Listen, Ash, that thing Isabella told us about. There's something you guys need to...
What's with the audio difference there?
Please tell me you didn't... Whatever. Save it for later. I'm at Salemwell. If you can get here as soon as possible, that'd be really great. This is related to that.
You're there?
Yeah, Zach too.
With a quick press of the button, I switch on the loudspeakers and step back into Isabella's apartment. I hold out the phone towards him, giving it 2 shakes, urging him to speak. He's still carrying a worried look on his face. This should ease that.
Rebecca's asking for you.
Hello, Rebecca. Odd morning we had.
I mean, she said Zach's there. I mean, she didn't...
Hey, Zachary. What's happening over there? Is this something I should be worried about?
We'll tell you once you get here. Please, hurry.
I don't like the sound of that, Ash. But I'm on my way. Give me a few minutes. I'm driving.
Oh no, the ghost! She mumbles a goodbye, then hangs up. Becca's the last person I need to account for, yet that call left an even more strained tension in the room. Thankfully, we don't have to linger in it for too long. She only takes a matter of minutes to get here. The second she steps into the room, apologies spill out of her mouth first.
I'm sorry, Ash. Were you two waiting long?
It doesn't matter. What's important is you're here.
Not burnt to a crisp or brutally murdered somewhere. Whole. Alive. Although she seems to be shaken, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. At least now, I can relax. Ease the pressure off my shoulders, if only by some. But the minute she closes the door, she winces. A small reaction, Zach doesn't even catch it. It's a precedence for a careful observation nevertheless. A closer look at her reveals a much more disheveled than usual. Hair in a bit of a mess, probably flattened in a hurry. The back of her dress also shows stains of dirt in places it rarely gets into. She also is leaning more on using her left arm. She's right-handed. Perhaps the most telling is the slight limp she has when she leads herself into the room. It all sprouts a hat full of questions. What exactly happened and how she ended up in that state? Pretty sure a simple trip to the library won't do that. I grab for her arm before she can walk past, carefully to avoid hurting her, in case there really is an injury. Seems like it at first glance, but you can't really be sure until after a careful examination has been made. I suspect it's some bruising at least. Although minor internal fractures aren't out of the equation, they have a nasty way of staying hidden. Sure enough, Becca tenses immediately upon contact. Tries to pull back, although the sudden gesture only elicits another wince, forcing her to halt. She turns to me, her eyes searching mine for answers, and doesn't appear quite pleased with her interruption. Or the fact that someone has brought it to light. Well, okay. Are you an idiot or are you alright? Are you alright?
You okay? You're limping.
As expected, she tries to hide it. This time, when she squirms from my grasp, it's with enough force, she almost stumbles back if Zach had not caught her by her elbow. Even with another person shooting her concerned looks, she's swift to shrug it off.
It's fine. I just had a little accident.
You know, all of these people need to learn to communicate. Except Isabella and a little bit of Zachary. Ashton and Rebecca do not talk to their friends. Honestly, I don't think they even like their friends. Except Isabella/Ashton. Little accident. Hard to believe when her other arm's nursing the supposedly fine arm. I feel bad for Zachary. Zachary doesn't appear to buy any of it either.
Really? In a library? Don't they have some sort of safety protocols there? Like reminders and those kinds of stuff?
Well, yeah. It kinda caught me off guard.
I mean, Ashton's whole character is based off him, like, not communicating with people, but still.
Something's happened there, hasn't it?
I don't have to elaborate on the question further. Shortly, she goes very still, and the hand placed over her right arm shifts ever so slightly. It grips on the limp tightening. Not too firm to hurt, but just enough for a gesture of comfort for herself. Warily, she casts a glance at everyone in the room. It strikes me seconds later how utterly familiar her expression is. It's the same one I've seen far too many times in Isabella. Since that day at the movie house, every time her attempts to warn us have been so rudely dismissed.
Let me see.
Rebecca hesitates for a moment, then after a minute of consideration, she sighs and reaches to the hem of her sleeve, raises it just enough for us to take a good look. Not swollen, but a large portion of her skin starting to turn an ugly shade of purple. She's infected. You have to shoot her in the head, it's the only way.
Oh, that is gonna be one hell of a nasty bruise.
Tell me about it. It was a library cart that hit me. You know, the old metal ones they keep near the history section.
Ouch! Like I said, nasty.
Do they keep like nice, not metal ones near like the science section, the nonfiction section?
Is it the woman you mentioned? The one you said was sitting in the back of your car?
Yeah, I was in the archives, looking something up. Suddenly, she was just there.
I've mentioned this before, but I hate how suddenly the story shifts from ghosts don't exist to, okay, ghosts exist.
Ash, she was using my own students against me. What kind of terrible person does that?
Well, she's not a person, she's a ghost.
Oh, it makes my blood boil.
You should have just ran. That woman's not something you can hit with a book.
Laugh it up.
I don't know why I keep checking the branching tree.
Then the bloody cart came out of nowhere. And you know what? If it weren't for a damn book, I would be dead by now.
Silence descends in the room as the gravity of the one word hits us all. What's... Okay. Actually, that was a new one, but still. You know, I never really... Whenever there's a book symbol, does that mean the journal updates? Maybe? No. No, there's too many of them. So the question mark is there's a question. Butterfly is it's the result of a past question or the just your choices. And yeah. But so in the book it's just common route, I guess. Like you're gonna see that regardless of your choices if you're like on that branch. Dead. How many more close calls do we have to go through? How many deaths do we have to witness? We having nobody's Marianne, but you don't know about that. How long can we keep this up? We're bound to break at one point. No normal human being with the same mind can last like this. Losing people important to them, one by one, right in front of them. We've already come close to losing Isabella. I'm not losing Zach and Rebecca too.
Let's leave these issues for now. There are some things, a lot of things, you guys need to know.
Well, if this is gonna be long, you better get a quick remedy for that arm. Let me fetch you one.
That marks the end of it, at least for the time being. As soon as Zach returns and hands Rebecca the remedy he promised, he gets straight down to business. Surprisingly easy, considering the rigid air in the room. Although there's some tense fumbling for words at first, the whole conversation gains steam once what happened last night at BRC has been put on the table. All at once, everything we've brushed off, carelessly ignored, and rudely dismissed have been laid out for close scrutiny. Zach's encounters with the woman in his dreams, Rebecca's close brushes with death every time she appears, the dread, the fear, the terror she brings out in the bravest of us. Everything. Because no matter how bleak this all seems, there must still be a way out of this. There has to be. Logic be danged, pardon my French. Or at least, that's what I'd like to believe. Yet, even as the cold morning light shifts to the warm hues of afternoon, and eventually night, none of this still makes a freaking dang sense. Like, you should say like a lick of sense or like a something of sense, right? You can't just say a sense, right? If you change that to any. I just like showing I'm smarter than whoever wrote this. Well, actually, there's multiple writers, right? Well, at the start of it, there were. I remember reading the Kickstarter. There were, I want to say 3 writers. But eventually, 2 of them quit or dropped it or got sick or something. And one guy had to finish. I think Ashton and Luke's out. Darkness has fallen, but we're still nowhere near figuring things out. If anything, we're more at a loss than we've ever been before we even started this. The next thing I know, frustration rears its ugly head and the sheets of paper I've been holding smacks the table harder than I've intended. The sound of it echoes loudly in the small room, and everyone simply falls silent. Along with it is the release of another long-held breath. Perhaps the 100th since this morning.
We aren't getting anywhere at this rate.
Chill, Ash. You're the one who picked out these files. What are we supposed to be looking for here?
A pattern, something that might hint a way out of this. The guys from BRC have probably also read that dumb paper.
Not so dumb if it can kill all of us.
Very funny, Z-Man.
That's a good laugh.
Anyway, like I said, these guys from BRC have probably also read that dumb paper. They've been working on the mansion before the open house, but Isabella found it during.
Shouldn't we look into the mansion too? That's where the letter came from. That's where she came from.
So, like, what is the point of any of this? Like, all they're researching the BRC, it turns up to nothing, right? And like, even the letter, like, the letter's not actually cursed, right? It's just a piece of paper that happens to be spooky, right?
Maybe it's just as the professor says. There might be more to this than what we're thinking on the surface. Don't know, just a thought. I mean, look at all this stuff Rebecca brought with her. Apparently our teachers have been lying to us all these years. So who knows?
Hey, now don't blame us. Blame the bloody books they wrote.
Sighing, I reach for one of the papers Rebecca has brought with her and carefully inspects the words printed on the page. A copy of an old newsprint from even before the city has been founded. Just a typical newsprint, but my eyes do linger at the illustration of the noblewoman's servant.
Any ideas why they're keeping this in the restricted section?
Rebecca merely shrugs at my inquiry, but her own annoyance seeps through her answer.
How should I know? I wasn't even aware we have archives that go as far back as this. As a matter of fact, if it weren't for Andrew's help, I wouldn't have gotten my hands on any of it. Maybe they didn't think it would be important to talk about it. After all, this is more Anselm's than ours.
That or some old bugger's hiding something.
Like Andrew. Like, really should have been like, he was evil and helping the ghost or something. I have no idea how that would work. Like, I don't know horror movie formulas, but there should have been like a human culprit. Why else would these tell a completely different story? Revising what's written seems a useless endeavor on its own when you have nothing to gain from it. But how does the mansion equates into all this? Come on! How does the letter Isabella found does? Is there, like, how does the letter Isabella found? Like, it's not, it shouldn't be, how does the, yeah, there shouldn't be a does there. It should be, how does the letter Isabella found? That works. Bringing the letter back there fix everything? But going to go by what Andrew told Zach, the connection between the letter and the mansion's curse may run deeper than what we've initially thought. That stupid paper might be the heart of this for some reason. We won't be able to figure this out without looking into the other. Frick! How do I? The mansion's a private property now. Can't just waltz in there. I'd rather die before I even think of begging Wright to let me in and investigate the place. One thing's very clear about the last 2 days, however. We're not safe anywhere, and I have to act fast if I want to keep my own friends alive. We can't keep running away. Sooner or later, she'll get us like she almost did with Isabella. Before that happens, I have to put an end to this. Sighing, I stand up and stretch out the kinks in my back after several hours of sitting. We've been at this for too long. A break is needed. Time to let everything to sink in. Just everything sink in, or else we'll all burn out. I know I will. It's another thing I cannot let happen when they're all counting on me like this. Albeit unspoken, it's in their eyes as they look up at me, waiting. We've been at this for hours. We should take a break for a few. The rest of it never makes it out of my mouth as something heavy and grating sounds from the far end of the room. Oh yeah, it's under the closet actually, right? A harsh booming noise ending through the eardrums of everyone in the room. Only once the two of them are on their feet while I quickly palm from my gun on the table. However, before I can pull it up and remove the safety, the whole racket stops. Stillness descends in the room, and amidst the sudden hush, the three of us exchange anxious glances. So much for a break.
Don't like the sound of that at all.
Why don't they have the 3D sprites up?
Gather everything.
No questions asked. They waste no time getting to work, piling up the documents we've been reading through. But before we can finish, another noise ups the tension already gripping the place. Suddenly, the lights go out and a wardrobe at the end of the room rattles, so something inside begs for freedom. Cautiously, eyes glued to it, take a step forward and release the lock from my gun. I'm no trigger-happy person. You want to go on a trigger happy havoc? Oh, you just made a dog good upper. Ooh. Not even sure if this will work on a ghost. Right now, it's smooth surface against my palm with the figure on my with the trigger on my finger provides the closest thing I have to relieve as I approach the closet. Ashton, I have everything. What are you doing?
I don't think that's a good idea. We should just...
And we could just leave? Worried as they both are, they immediately stop at the slight raise in my hand. But the edge is there while they all huddle in the space between the door and the room. In case this goes south, whatever I find inside, they have enough time and space to run from their position. In 2 deep breaths, I've crossed the room and stood in front of the closet. Whatever is inside has yet to stop thrashing. Look, we've read this before. But we're not like... No, there'd be a red line. Something creaks and it's empty. No ghost, no woman.
We should go.
Oh yeah, just the... And he grabs his feet, right? Yeah. Hello, Miss Ghost. Mrs. Ghost? Because... Is she both of them or is she just one of them? Because one of them's married.
Everyone out! Get out! Get out of here!
Although, like, did she kill her husband? Like, I don't know. This game doesn't care about its plot after a certain point. It just focuses on the characters, which... I don't know if the characters are the strong point of the game or the plot, because every time it focuses on the characters, I'm like, get on with the plot. Or whenever the plot happens, I'm like, can we just see more of the characters? So, yeah. Let's go ahead and get this closet. Cool. Can we skip here? Oh, yep. We've converged. Not necessarily a bad end. I assume this is... Isabella's in a coma, but no one's dead. I'm going to call it there. Next one may be the last one, because Luke's route is going to be very quick. So once we finish Ashton's, we're good. Like, we have this scene. We're going to have some sort of Rebecca confession, probably. And I assume an option to turn her down. Because since we're doing the coma route, we might as well see what happens if Ashton is... Like, if it's possible to romance Isabella with the coma route. See what will happen. I assume there's an option to do that. Maybe not, though. Maybe not. So, yeah, I'll see you guys next time with some more of the letter when we do that. Yep. I think I'm going to call it there. I've recorded a lot today, and 14 out of 20, you did a pretty good job. I'll finish the letter some other time. Well, like, part of me just wants to get it over with, so, you know, it's just over with. Since we're so close to finish. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to do that. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.